Welcome to LexTalk World Talk Show presented by Clickaway Creators. Today we have Ms. Amaya Mazaira with us. She is Head of Treasury and Structured Finance Legal at Santander UK. After spending the early years of her legal career as a lawyer in two of the biggest and most international law firms in Spain, Amaya moved to London to do an LLM in finance law, where she was awarded an Essex Court Prize. Then she joined the in-house legal team at Santander UK, where she has been able to develop her skills and learn constantly. Since 2013, she is Head of Treasury and Structured Finance Legal. She is currently lead counsel at Santander UK for Brexit planning and LIBOR migration programs. She is a company appointed director at Santander UK Group Pension Scheme Trustees Limited and a director of Santander CF Trustee Limited, managing the investments of the Santander UK Group Pension Scheme. She believes in inclusion and creating an environment where everyone's contribution counts and enriches the experience and skill of others. Thank you so much for joining us, Amaya. We are pleased to have you with us today.
Nice to be here.
Completely our pleasure. Amaya, to start this conversation with, I would like to ask if you could please do a quick personal and professional background sharing with us.
Yes, so as you just basically summarized, I started my career in private practice back in Spain. That's why I started working on structured finance. And after moving to London and moving in-house, I specialized very much in derivatives and securitization. That's a fairly chunky and technical area. And since then, I've headed the Treasury team, which looks after all of our funding at Santander UK, from capital to unsecured to structured notes to securitization platforms and cover bonds, plus looks after an array of complex structures and structured finance for the UK group. As head of the team, I've now started looking after some of the CFO division enterprise-wide programs, like the preparations for Brexit and the LIBOR migration program.
All right, fantastic. And thank you so much for that quick brief about yourself. Moving ahead, and since you come from the financial sector, we are very keen to know the impact of COVID-19 on the financial sector in the European market. And as a legal professional, what solutions do you foresee coming over?
Well, like any other company, the financial industry does well when the economy is doing well. So COVID-19 is a challenge for all. Plus, it's a kind of crisis that we've never had before. We've never completely stopped our economy voluntarily for a period of time without knowing if we will have to stop it again, which sectors might be able to restart and at what capacity. So it's very difficult to model and plan for the crisis. It's been very demanding. There's a lot of matters around the fiduciary duties of companies towards their employees and their well-being, how we make sure everyone's safe. There's with our regulators and our government to be of assistance to our customers and the economy as a whole. So it's been incredibly involved, both in changing the way we work and trying to keep things going and being a keystone of keeping the heart of the economy beating. From a legal perspective, I've seen the different schemes that the government's put into place, how they impact into our balance sheet, how to roll them out at incredible speed, analysing every document and putting everything in place at incredible speed, how to deal with all the forbearance that has been put in place for those that could not pay their mortgage, could not pay their credit cards, could not pay their consumer loans. So it's been a massive effort. There's a lot of initiatives globally, which basically just come to show how important this challenge is for all of us globally. from the legal perspective, I think, apart from the schemes and developing the schemes and supporting the schemes that the government has launched, one of the most important things that we've seen is the acknowledgement by the regulators that the waves of regulation that banks have been dealing with have been incredibly costly and very demanding operationally. And I'm seeing the forbearance that the regulators have placed in certain programs related to capital rules coming into force, the obligation to publish our resolution plans, the MiFID II, all of those regulatory initiatives have been slowed down to allow banks the ability to breathe and to slow down on the cost and the operational demands, and also allow us to deal with the constraints that some of those regulations put in our ability to serve the economy.
Absolutely. You rightly said that this is not something that we have seen before, and modern problems would need modern solutions, and I think that's all everybody's working together towards, and it definitely makes a lot of sense when you said that. It is for the first time when we have voluntarily stopped everything. We stopped our economy, and because we wanted people to be safe, and that's the utmost importance as of now. And as you rightly said, across the globe, governments are coming up with a lot of, with a lot of schemes, with a lot of support to the mankind, and helping economies to again restart and be at the same place where they were before. So yeah, I think you correctly summarized it, the overall situation, not just in the financial sector and not just in the financial industry, but I think this is the same story for every other industry too. Talking about a little more challenges now, I would like to know from you, from your perspective, what are your main current challenges that you're facing as of now?
I think as a legal manager, my main challenge at the moment is the team and the well-being of the team. And we've had a very fundamental change the way that we'll work. We all have very different personal circumstances. So there's different demands on each of us, those that have young families, those that are alone at home, and obviously don't have that daily interaction with others. I think we've done brilliantly, like the incredible demonstration of commitment and resilience, and just how fluently we've all managed to stop going to the office and working from home without a heartbeat, without stopping. It's been incredible, but we need to sustain it. We don't know how long we're going to all stay home for. It looks like the legal departments might not be one of the first home, because our ability to work from home is quite good. So we're not client facing. We don't need to travel as much. So dealing with that and staying embedded in the business and relevant and up to date and optimistic and uplifted is going to be probably the biggest challenge. That's from a personal perspective and from a team management perspective. From a legal perspective, I think our challenges remain exactly the same. I mean, for me, it's still going to be a year where the LIBOR migration needs to take a proper push. So I've made a massive effort these last 2 months to keep the focus on that program. And Brexit is coming at the end of the year. So we've got all of that to come. And obviously, while dealing with more volatile markets and other demands.
Absolutely, and Brexit is something that everybody is definitely eyeing upon, what happens and how it really takes place, how it really shapes up. So people have a lot of questions around that too. As an in-house counsel, I would like to ask you the next question about what makes a great in-house lawyer?
I think for me, it would be curiosity. And when I say curiosity, I mean lawyers are technicians, and we all start as technicians. So we all start developing an expertise on very specific areas. And there is this risk of finding your niche and your comfort zone in being the best at this particular product or area where you just know everything. But always being right and always knowing about your bid is not enough to add value to the company. So when I say curiosities, always ask about the bigger picture. Why do they require an answer to that particular question? What are the different levers in your company that will have different effects? How does your area fit with all of the other areas? What other tools and skills are required around the organization, apart from your understanding of how the documentation or the regulation of a certain area works? So as you develop that curiosity as you learn about the company and the different departments and the different demands that everyone has, you're able to anticipate, you're able to steer, you're able to influence the company, the culture, and add more value. So I think that is how you create a good in-house lawyer.
Wow, that really covers almost every aspect of it, and I'm sure our viewers who are in-house counsel or young legal professionals looking to go in-house, switch in-house, they will definitely be able to learn a lot from this. Now, once again, I have a question which focuses majorly on the new legal professionals and maybe also the law students who are still in schools and looking forward to have a flourished career in the legal space. What would you like to tell them? What are your 3 core values that you truly believe in?
I think that as a profession, as members of a profession, our main value is integrity. I think you can't have a good lawyer that hasn't got integrity as its main core value. And integrity these days spans a lot of areas, which take you to culture and conduct and fairness, going beyond the letter of the law to the spirit of the law, to the impacts we've got in society. So that's probably the main core value of every lawyer. Then, as we are professionals, it's being that professionality, being effective, putting a lot of effort in things. So even for the very youngest lawyers, so it's a culture of effort. So even as a very young professional, when you get asked a question, don't come up with, I don't know. You always have to go, try to understand it as best as you can, come up with your own conclusions, your own view, which even as a young person that doesn't know as much as you thought you should know, will bring something to the discussion, and then ask all the questions. And ask lots of questions, but bring that effort, bring that desire of perfection, of understanding things really deeply, and to always deepen that knowledge. And the last one is, for me, diversity, and it's a diversity through integration. So there is a danger, because we've all gone to university and we come from similar backgrounds, that we don't appreciate the skills of others and what everyone has to bring, from the most junior lawyer to the most senior lawyer to other colleagues that are not in the legal profession. And they all bring views that are very important to complete the picture. So I think those are, for me, the 3 main things that a lawyer should carry out through their career.
Absolutely, I completely agree with you on this. I was talking to somebody in London last week, and he beautifully said that innovation starts very small. So you can't really imagine from where it's going to come. So it is very important to pick views from everyone and collect those suggestions, those views, and then try and create something. So it is very much important, and you also, I think, piggyback on the same thing. So I thank you so much for sharing such great insights with us, Amaya. It was definitely a pleasure talking to you, and I'm sure for our viewers also, they would also be able to collect a lot of information from this video, from this interview, which definitely will be helpful for them in their legal careers. So with that, we come to the end of this session, and I would like to again thank you for sharing your great insights with us and for sharing your time. We definitely would love to have more chats with you in future on some other legal topics. Brexit is coming over, and we might want to have you once again to talk about that a little bit. For our viewers, if you like this video, Please like and share this video. Also subscribe to our channel on YouTube, Clickaway Creators, to have more coming from these industry leaders. Thank you for joining us today. This is Vinay for LexTalk. Have a good one ahead.